Johannes, give us your thoughts on that, please.
Very poor result. Probably based on 5 minutes where we're completely off in the middle of first half. So it sums it up. And after, of course, conceding two goals in those 5 minutes, it becomes very, very difficult for us.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is, prior to that, you come here, this is a team, bottom of the table, they need a win, they're going to come at you, the crowd are going to try and get up. And that first 20 minutes, you took all that away because the manner you started the game, you controlled it.
Yeah, completely. But again, it's a big weakness for us that we keep on conceding. Probably the first chance we concede in a game, and that's a conceded goal, and then of course we are completely off the 4 or 5 minutes after that, and even a throw for ourselves on our own half leads to the second goal. So it comes out. So many of the goals we concede comes out of those random situations with second balls and third balls and the situation where we cannot fully control them. But it's not an excuse that we don't do it well enough in those moments, because we have to be better, much better.
As you say, I mean, it's not the first time. I mean, what is it? And is this something you and your coaches, maybe in the summer, when the season gets to the point where you can sit down and reflect and do a proper analysis? I mean, is it mindset? Why is it that when you have that adversity, as you say, one goal sometimes can bring two, maybe three?
Yeah, because this cannot continue. Because you mentioned it, the first 20-25 minutes, we can completely kill the momentum of their approach to the game. We get ourselves into many good situations around the box. We have low crosses and crossing situations where we need a head to it or foot to it to make it a goal for us. And then one throw in to them leads to another throw in, leads to a second ball situation we don't handle well enough, and leads to a goal. And then, of course, that's not ideal, and everything becomes a little bit difficult and a little bit different after that. And then a couple of minutes after, a throw on our own half leads to a second goal conceded. Then it's completely changed the game picture and the momentum in the game, and we have to find our way back and find a different way back into the game. But we've tried it too many times before, and a part of the reason behind the approach last Saturday against West Brom was exactly this, to avoid these situations. But again, then it goes out of, and there's other parts of the game that we cannot do well enough. So we have to be able to mix that together. But what seems like an important task for now, I think, is also something we simply need to focus on when the season is over, because we cannot compete when this is the fact.
On the first goal, just to clarify, was there any sense from the players, yourself, the coaches, that you could have been in an offside position when that ball got hooked back in?
I cannot see it from my view on the pitch, but I can see a line of defence that have to do better and have to deal with the situation much better. Push up faster and also take the contact when they start running in, and we can see that there's no pressure on the guy delivering the ball. So defensively we need to do better in a situation. Offside, onside, I don't know.
And is that basically at the heart of, you made a double change there, you brought on Slimani and Wright. Just explain what you thought that you needed to do to affect the game in a positive
Because
fashion.
I was not satisfied with even though first 20 minutes are okay, I was still not satisfied with our positions on the ball. They were too loose and they were too all over the place, which was a part of we struggled a little bit sometimes to kill their counter-attacks, and when we lost the ball we were a little bit too open, but also meaning that we didn't create enough opportunities on the final third, even though I think we got into an okay amount. So we needed to change that. We could have changed probably a couple of players more in half-time, but we needed to change that. And I actually think our rhythm on the ball became much better in second half, even though, of course, we struggled to open up a low defending team that has a one-goal lead.
And as you say, you got the perfect start there with Josh, minute or two into the half, and for the next 20-25 minutes it did feel like your team were really pushing. Yeah. Did you feel the second part of the second half, you didn't quite be able to maintain that?
No, we probably should have scored the 10-15 minutes after the goal, because we had a good flow, we had a good rhythm. It seemed like every situation we got ourselves into led to a shot on goal, or at least a corner kick or a free kick, or situations close to their box. So we definitely had the momentum, and then when we gave it another push and we had to be even more direct in our approach the last 10 minutes of the game, it was not in our favour, and the game became too open again towards the end, where we we needed that final push instead. So we probably should have scored 10-15 minutes after the first goal.
I mean, you've said in these situations before, I mean, Blackburn springs to mind, you know, that now isn't the time for emotion. You can't go in there and be emotional with the players, but you can sense the frustration from you today, looking at what your team haven't produced.
I am, because it's too easy goals we concede. Let them outplay us, and I will be the first one to applaud it and say, okay, fair enough, they scored a goal, and they passed it in between us and on the side of us and around us, and they created an open chance and they scored a goal. Fair enough. But it's not the case. It's from all those moments where we have to compete better, we have to do more, we have to stick to the situation, and when we cannot think about how good we can be on the ball or the next situation before we have solved the first one. And it seems like we're too eager to get to the next one, instead of just solving the moment. And we spoke so much about this before the game today, where there will be moments, because they deliver crosses from all over the pitch. The goalkeeper from them deliver crosses. So there will be moments where we have to fight for the first contact and the second and the third, and stay in our positions and keep the defensive set piece structure until the situation is over, and then we can start playing again. But it seems like we're not sticking well enough to it and not long enough to it, because look at what it comes from their first goal. It's a mess of a situation.
And obviously, clearly, as you say, the bigger picture, mid to longer term, these type of situations, when they keep happening, you will make decisions on players, system, how you move forward. It's all feeding into what you're trying to do, which is get this club to be up and better.
100%. And there will be tough decisions taken after this season. That's how it is. That's how it is in this game, because our way going forward is to play like we wanted to play today. To make it perfectly clear, it's not the way we played against West Brom the other day. That's not the way. That's something you can do once in a while, and it can also happen next season that we do it once in a while to make sure that we get a result, or make sure that we are more compact in the game. But the way going forward for us is to be that offensive-minded team who score goals, who create chances, who develop young players, who develop offensive players. Again, we sit and talk about a poor result today and a mid-table position. We still have the top goal scorer of the league. We still have what is Sarsi at the moment, 2 or 3 on the list. So that's our ambition, that we have to create offensive players who can become good for us and then take the next step in their career. We have to create young players, and we have to do it within a certain style that delivers a lot of chances in a game, that delivers a lot of goals. So that's the way, 100%. And then when, of course, we need to improve as a team and find the right structure and the right fit, also player-wise.
A couple more if I can, Johannes. Yeah. On that last point, finding the right players and the right structure, the right fit, did Jacob Wright underline again today what he could be in the system of how you want to play the game? Yeah,
I think the rhythm on the ball becomes so much better when he came on, and it's much more fluent. He takes less touches. He can execute on his first touch, and he fits the structure very well, and he holds that position very good. And to be able to break down a low block defensively, it's all about team performance and making sure that the movements are according to each other. So you look at each other and you use each other and you stay in the right structure always. And he's a good part of that.
And obviously today, Jurasek in the matchday squad. What can you tell us?
He felt some pain in the start of the session on Friday and could not carry on with the session. So he pulled out after 5-10 minutes of the session, and obviously not available.
Can you sort of specify what we're talking about? Hamstring pain or?
No, some pain in his quad that we have to scan and see what it is. To be honest, it's top frustrating. It is. It seems like every time we're about to have a good player back, then there's some kind of a setback, and we end up having to find other solutions and deal with it. So it's frustrating for him, it's for us, and it's we have to get on with it.
Thanks, Johannes.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.